And the NAPA Sim Xfinity Series is here at Motegi for their 7th race of the season, all the way out in Japan here for one of our first international races of the season. 38 drivers have made the trip all the way over for what is going to be a great race. 78 laps today at this racetrack. And other than practice and qualifying for all these guys, these drivers have never been on the racetrack, all so close to each other. So a lot of these guys here could make a lot of mistakes early if they are not careful, as a lot of these guys have probably not even been side by side with any cars yet this weekend. So some of these drivers are going to get a huge test today. But Wayside in the 51, who got even more practice in the Cup Series practice, will get to lead the field off the green here in the Xfinity Series with NASCAR Sim. Another driver running the Cup race, two Waysides outside. So it is very, very key to get as much track time as you can prior to this race. And now, well, it's time to race. All the nerves are beginning to set in here today as I'm Dylan, joined by Chris and Mac in the booth. Well, guys, we have finally made it to Japan, and there are a lot of storylines heading into this race. And 78 laps, a brand new track. How do we think this is going to go?
Yeah, and as this is the first, as what he said, Dylan, this is the first time these drivers have really seen this circuit. They have practice, they have qualifying, but they've not seen this circuit with 37 other drivers on the field. And NAPA's first ever international race for both the Xfinity and the Cup Series. Um, Lots, and we also see for that reason lots of Cup drivers are running today. And well, things should get very interesting here. Trying the race, 3,700 cars 38 cars all trying to race each other for this win at a track they've never known how to race with all 3,700 guys.
And I'm sure, as our viewers know, every week we've ran trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, but not this week. Next week is when the truck series will come back at Colorado. What we're seeing this week is, as you've seen, some names like Juan and like Supra. They are running this week at Motegi, along with some of the Cup guys that are coming down and some of the regulars in the Xfinity series. So I expect this race to have a lot of variance and also to have a lot of competition because some of these guys are competing for points, some are competing for wins, and some are competing for that experience and just letting these guys know like, hey, I am here. I want to be in this level next season. So I expect it to be really fun.
Yeah, we have some truck drivers in the field, like Chris said. There's Super in the 80. DNQ'd in California last race and is now qualified for this one, trying to make it. We have Juan. He's going to make his series debut. And a little bit farther back there, you also have Riku Sato. We have a lot of drivers, Cup, Xfinity trucks, all throughout. Everyone wanted to come to Japan to get some track time and, well, try and get a win in one of the spectacles this season in Napa. But we are ready to now go over the 38 drivers that made the race and the ones that are going to take the field to green today. Here is the starting grid. In row one, Wayside and NASCAR Sim. And then we go back to row two. That is Nexus in the 13, next to Commander running the 42 this race. Back to row three, it is Mac and Matthew. Row four, CJ and Peyton. Row five, Chase and Dan. Back to row six, Mythical and Bug. And row seven, Redeem, who has been fast all weekend. And he is next to TXN in the 81.
And then in row 8, we have Dalton and Typical. Row 9, the third set of cars from Mesquite Ward, Doug in the 08 alongside Sean. Row 10, we have Ravenvox, Japan native, and Flower. Row 11, we got Data and Scene. And in row 12, we've got Witty and Perry. And in row 13 will be Supra getting to make his second start here in the Xfinity Series, and Boca Blitz.
In row 14, we have Juan having a standout season in the Truck Series in the 6, starting next to the 47 of Riku Sato, of rookie in this field as well. So behind them, we got Arctic next to Javier. Behind them, we got Sheldon Breed and Cliff McGrath making his first start in the field. And then we got the 4 of Noah, rookie, was next to the 29 of Cole. And then we got the 77 of JJO and the 89 of Sup NASCAR. And we got the 72 of Jack, starting next to the 12 of Mike.
38 drivers will make up this field for 78 laps, and also the 2 drivers that are going home. 2 full-time drivers, Spend and Breck Blue. They will not be racing this weekend out in Japan. But all these drivers are, and we are ready to go.
Drivers, start your engine!
The engines are fired. Let's go racing in Japan.
Yeah, man, I got it.
Field is rolling here. This is going to be an interesting race, as when these drivers go off into turn 1 for the first time, it's going to be the first time that these drivers have gone off into turn 1 at speed with all these other cars right next to them. These drivers cannot make any mistakes here. The nerves are setting in here as the pace car is pulling in. It's Wayside, it's NASCAR Sim leading the field to green. We are ready to go. Off turn 4 and into the restart zone. The first NAPA Sim Series race in Japan is green. Let's go from Motegi.
Look at that big start from Wayside. Next is already looking inside for the 3 wide. There's a 4 wide there, right there for P4. Back's gonna back out a bit. Veteran move right there. He does not want to wreck the car on lap 1. Next is Code trying to go side by side with Wayside. He's gonna get right past him to the lead.
Fantastic start by CJ Will. He was a major benefactor of that 4 wide move, as they're still trying to sort themselves out there for P6, but like I said, some guys like CJ Will and Matthew as well moving forward after that big move in turn 1, and that 42 car is moving backwards as well, along with the 56 of Mac, as right now that 13 of Nexus Code leads the way, but not for long.
Yeah, there is one of the biggest things about this racetrack that everyone noticed in practice. There is little to no grip on that high line. You want to be committed to the bottom. How about NASCAR Sim taking it 3 wide? Looking for the lead here in Motegi. NASCAR Sim has had an interesting season, to say the least. They both get tied off exit. And to the wide, I think NASCAR Sim will get the lap. Yes, he does, but watch off in the turn 1 here. There is little to no grip on that high lane. It's been like that all weekend. If you could run the bottom, you're just going to take the spot 80% of the time or so, even though Wayside is fighting back on that high lane, proving me wrong. What a run off exit. But that inside line is the way to go. If you can run that bottom, you're pretty set. So really hard to make passes. On top is CJ, tries to split the middle. That puts NASCAR Sim in the worst spot. Top of 3 wide. Oh, look at him. He got way tight there. He almost hit the wall off exit. 3 wide.
Are battling it out, and you got Chase and Matthew right behind. CJ is going to try and shoot it through the middle, gets by NASCAR Sim, but I'm not sure if he's going to have to run here, as now they're going back 3 wide. Matthew to the inside of Chase. CJ's trying to get run on the outside here off of turn 2, and he can't. Yeah, I think he got it, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough now, because he got that run early with the Matthew trying to get under Chase. We look further back here. The adult want to send as the 05 dropping back, is stuck on the outside. He's going to get trained by all these guys on the bottom. As we're going to the line, there's Matthew. He got by Nexus, so they're banging over there for like
oh my goodness.
top 5 positions. Ooh, a lot of content between Commander and Chase.
Oh man, and then now that's Redeem. He's going to take advantage down to the inside of NASCAR Sim. They are all over each other here, knowing that you need track position early. It gets really tough to pass as this race goes on. So you want to establish that track position early. That's what everyone's trying to do. And as long as you're on that bottom lane, you can gain so many spots so fast, especially early in these races. As Commander already looking for P2 on Matthew, he's going to get it here as, I mean, just looking around practically this entire top 10. Notice a trend, almost every single driver in this top 10 is running the cup race, other than it looks like Redeem and Nexus. All of these drivers in the top 10, most of them are running the cup race. So some extra experience that they got earlier this week, and it's paying off early in this race as Matthew loses a few spots. NASCAR Sim with another big send. He's going to take third back. And now Nexus fading early after getting those few laps led early. Redeem will go by.
NASCAR Sim 1 trying to flex competition track. These type of tracks were the benefit of were the best track for the 8 machine last year. These big ovals, but not too big of an oval. The 8 car had 2 wins at speedways, which was Atlanta and Homestead. Homestead was not with NASCAR Sim though, that was with Isolated. But these type of tracks are the strength of that number 8 team's operation. So it's kind of no shocker that they are running up here super stuck behind that kind of 64 Witty, dropping back a bit early.
Oh man, Witty there with a good run off that top side. He's going to actually try and get back around Boca Blitz. And here is Supra turning his first laps in the 80 car this season. Ran a race at Phoenix in the 08. Slightly similar style of track in terms of the banking. So, but still, everyone's first time here. He's trying to get some experience. Nice Greg Biffle tribute. Think about getting it out early, and here it is. Greg Biffle tribute. It's been a while since we've been able to do races, so it's been a little bit hard to, you know, show these tributes, but great tributes. We'll see them for the next few races throughout all 3 series. Great tribute there for Supra. Here's Raven in the 41, Flower in the 3, Sup NASCAR in the 89. These are drivers a little bit more mid-pack, just trying to get some track position, and some of them are moving forward, but others have dropped back. Here's Dan in the 97. He has faded back to 29th early in this race. He qualified right around the front, but has faded back, and this Xfinity car has never been too kind for him, but right now, this track as a whole, not being too kind for him here in the early going as Arctic looks for a move on Flower.
And on the flip side of that, I want to point out that 42 car commander seems to be fast, because we saw in lap 1 that he and Mac fell back after they were forced 3 wide, and he worked his way through that pack behind him that has NASCAR Sim, CJ Will, the 04, Chase, Redeem, and others, and now he's on the back bumper of Wayside. Wayside was enjoying that 1 second lead over the field, but now it's gone. Here comes Commander to the inside for the first time today. And side by side of turns 3 and 4, will he lead this lap?
Ooh, he made him lift.
Track goes Wayside, and yes, he will. He will lead this lap.
Yeah, Commander made Wayside lift right there on 4. He ran almost all the way up to the wall. Also could be a little bit of still inexperienced drivers learning this track. Trying to learn when you can get on the gas. What is the earliest you can get on the gas and gain the most momentum off exit? Maybe Commander just got on the gas a little bit too early and crowded Wayside, but nonetheless takes the lead. And trying to run away from the 51 is a group of about 5 more behind that top 2, still hanging on. We got NASCAR Sim, Chase, CJ, Matthew, and Redeem all hanging on, and then behind him, it's a bit of a mess. Data clears the 8th, Bug trying to move forward, and Nexus Code is in free fall.
Yeah, Redeem, he is sticking with that main pack very impressively. I mean, this is also the first time, and he has going to get passed by C. He's going to pass CJ here. He's going to be up at P6. In a Japan-specific sponsor, Toyota has come over with one of their affiliates, Toyota Tusho, to sponsor this operation for the Japanese races. And he is taking the most of getting what seems to be pretty much real funding from a sponsor, and he seems to be running very well with it.
Car coming down pit road there in the back, as nice little camera shot there off turn 4. Typical Mac, Sean, all in this group. This is right outside the top 10. Typical running his first race outside of the Cup Series this season here in Japan, and I talked to Typical a few weeks prior to the race, and he said, wait, this isn't at the road course? So Typical was a little bit bummed to hear that, but still here he is, of course, nonetheless in this race, trying to move forward. He hasn't moved up too many spots, but I'm sure Typical's not the happiest that this race is not on the road course, but either way, he's here and trying to move forward. Just got by Mac and is now running down Bug and Dalton, who are side by side right ahead of him. This is a battle for 10th right here.
I was gonna say, like, whether it's right turns or left turns, he's doing pretty well. Typical's running pretty well with Dalton and Mac, and he's solidly in the top 20, so good one for him.
Yeah, and this is a different manufacturer from Typical's usually running. He ran Dodges in the lower series last season. And with SW last season, he ran Chevys. This is his first time running a Ford, and that's pretty much what you have to do because Dodge did not bring a up-to-spec manufacturer for this season. So if you run Dodge in the lower series, you have to switch to a different manufacturer, at least for this season. Then you can go back to Dodge if you want to stick with the current manufacturer. You can't do that. As Wayside is starting to drop and redeem into the top 5 now. What an impressive effort from this MP Racing machine that they have here. This is the second car as well. Perry is their main car and their main guy. Redeem did have a couple impressive top 5s in the mid-pet season last year. And, well, as he said, he gets his first real funding opportunity, and he is running with it. But now CJ2 is inside.
Yeah, I was looking at the charts before this race. Top 10 in practice and top 15 in qualifying. Redeem has been, I hate to say it, but a bit of a dud early this season. You know, after what he was able to do last season, one of the worst cars in the field. As he actually stays ahead of CJ there, one of the few to hold on the high side. It's been tough. He has not really had any races where he has stood out, but this race today, coming out here, one of 2 cars for this organization. The 38 is not here this weekend, so there's a little bit more focus on this 10 car. And, well, right now, looking great up here in the top 5. We'll see if he can stay up there. The tires are now at full song. Everyone's going. We're going to start seeing tire wear a little bit soon here. And also, NASCAR Sim, another driver having a great run, but these tires... This is about as fast as these drivers are going to be, trying to use the best of these tires. Redeem's doing it well up into the top 5, and NASCAR Sim back to the lead once again. What a showing for him so far. Here comes Chase.
You had to watch it there. That was such an aggressive block. He almost turned himself off the 42 front bumper there.
I was expecting the 42 to run away, kind of like how Wayside did earlier, but not exactly, because Wayside's fallen back, and now the 42 is starting to fall back as well, so it's now starting to become a question of short run versus long run speed, and also just how well these guys are managing their tires, like Dylan mentioned earlier, because we see Chase now get ahead of NASCAR Sim, and Matthew is as well starting to come forward, and I mean, earlier they were there earlier in the race, but now I think they're starting to come alive. Chase and Matthew easily clear NASCAR Sim, and Commander wants that 3rd place back, but I think now we're starting to see the 2 at the front, and maybe even Redeem sort of come alive as the long run continues.
And also...
Data and Nexus
Yep.
could have ran this... Data actually has ran this group down.
Yeah, that is what I was just about to say. Data in a new scheme. This race, another one of those Japan sponsors at Sampo running for this 36 car today. And Data is right near the top of the points. But one of the few drivers that have been able to outduel him so far this season is that 50 car of Bug. But Data's currently got positioning on him right now and is trying to move forward. Still 7 more cars to pass in. Redeem is looking for 4th on Commander. Holy crap, what a drive! What a drive for Redeem. Now trying to look for 3rd. He is aggressive in that number 10 car. Can't hold it there off 4. And can't hold the bottom either. Commander will wrap around him on the outside. I think that's where some of those guys that have a bit more experience in him, like NASCAR Sim and Commander, both running the Cup race tomorrow, that's where they can get him a little bit. Redeem got aggressive. He went for too much that he can handle, and now you're seeing the price right here. He was battling for 4th. Now he could fall all the way back to maybe 8th if he gets swarmed by the 51, 36, and 37. That might be what just happens here.
Jason had kind of started building a gap before, and Matthews reeled him back in at this point. But Chase getting some laps led here. We have not really seen this all season from the we had to stand out one off the first back in last season. And also important that he's getting his laps or even gets a win here, because right now, because there's an important convo relating to the CBM Sunbelt deal, and pretty much a lot know that that deal is not going to last forever, mainly because of these 2 top blue chip prospects in Chase and Sean, and something is going to have to give. One of them will become Cup ready, and, well, that's where you have to determine which team gets what prospect. And in that battle so far, this number 9 here, Sean, we're showing here, has been objectively blowing his doors off to start the season.
The 42 was mired in traffic, and so was Wayside, but actually they're coming back. They're in third and in fourth. It seems like they've consolidated, and unfortunately for Redeem, he's falling back, but here comes Matthew to the inside of Chase. Doesn't quite get there though. Chase sends it in deeper, and Commander closes the gap. Great exit out of 4 there by Chase. And is Commander gonna go around the outside of Matthew there? That's a gutsy move by him if he does, but like I said earlier, I think the 42 and the 51 are quick, because that's the second time now they've come from the back to the front. Now we're in third and fourth.
Yeah,
This
now.
battling's allowed some guys to run this field down. Now Typical and Bug are catching up.
Yeah, Typical running down Redeem in the 10. I think that early portion of the run speed is kind of giving up on him just a little bit here. Redeem, though, nonetheless hanging on very well right now. Starting 13th. He was in the top 10 by the end of the first lap. And you know what? He's impressing. He's doing a good job today here. And he is mired deep in the points. He needs to have a solid top 15 run today to keep that up. And yeah, Nexus Code still fading, but he's kind of found a home here now in the 12th position, right ahead of Sean. Mac as well is faded back. Here comes Doug with a big run here in the 08 side by side here. Is the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Padres. No, my bad. It's Doug and Mac. Doug will take that spot right behind them. That is teammate of Doug, Supra, moving forward very quietly up into, I'm pretty sure that is up into 16th. Yep, up into 16th place.
And, those two cars plus Nexus Code with the Los Angeles Angels, part of a scheme war, has become new tradition in Napa through the last three. We kind of saw it back in the last season, but now these things have started exploding in this season. We have other scheme wars on deck after this, but Motegi is our second one. We had one at Daytona and Xfinity, and well, these little rivalries between whether it be other companies or sports teams, they're definitely great for teams, because they're going to be competing for funding, and well, who wins the scheme? I mean, winning the scheme war could be pretty big media talk and stuff. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see that these scheme wars have started popping up as Redeem holding off Typical in the meanwhile.
And Redeem doing a great job here holding off the 52 and Typical. This is the best of the best that you can get in NAPA Sim Racing you, and he's playing good defense. The Typical definitely seems faster, but Redeem doing a great job holding him off. This is the race where Redeem needs to prove that he's still got some of the speed from last season. Last season, he developed the nickname The Jockey. I don't know why, but seems to have stuck around, but this season he needs to make sure that it can stay. And right now he's doing a good job, but he slides up a little bit there. Typical looks to inside. All these drivers are running their qualifying setups basically without a caution yet in this race. There needs to be a caution for these guys to be able to make some adjustments. So right now these guys are racing what they got for their very first time at this racetrack, and Redeem must have a good handling race car to hang in that top 10, but just not quick enough to move forward anymore. You can see him now starting to fade in. Gotta watch out for Bug. He has been on fire this season. He's now entered the top 10, and this group of cars, this about group of 10 here, are kind of just all hanging with each other and not really able to separate, but Chase is able to hold the lead. Then we have the second group here that is getting a little bit wild.
Yeah, I was going to say that I anticipate that group behind Chase and Matthew and Commander to get bigger, because while I will give flowers to Redeem for defending so hard, Bug, Dalton, and that group that's with him, that Doug, that Nexus Code, that Super, they're all going to catch up to them if they keep fighting so hard for that position. But I want to go back to Chase for a second, because he's done a great job defending that position as well. I mean, Matthew won at Las Vegas, and Commander has a great standing in the Cup Series points so far, competing for that championship there. And Chase has done a fantastic job holding the lead as Dana's there now. You guys mentioned him earlier in the race. He has some speed in that 36 car, and he is coming. He is flying.
Oh my goodness!
What a
Wow.
freeze.
He just sent it off exit. He forced Commander to lift. That is a veteran move against a veteran Cup driver, and I don't know how much Commander's gonna like that move, but you know what? Data made it work very well. That is a confident move by a confident driver. When you go out and make that move, you either make it stick or you're in the wall. And he's now looking for second. Oh my goodness. Data's flying. I talked about him. He is high in the points, but has not been able to get that win yet. But he is moving here early. Jason Matthews still hanging on, and now we're kind of at that point of the run to where the field is separated enough to where you can make that bottom and that middle lane work. On restarts, if you're in that middle to top lane, you're cooked. But when this group gets a little bit separated, you can make both lanes work because there's not a logjam. There's not other cars in your way. It is just you and a few other cars, so there's a lot more room to try and make some passes as Data's now settled in the third. And again, it's about this top 10, maybe now 8, Bug and Redeemer fading slightly, that are hanging on with this group.
Yeah, and Data, I mean, he ran as a battle robbery in the first year of the series, but on second season, he broke out. He did deal with middling inconsistency, but he did pop off 4 wins nonetheless, including, I believe, 3 of those on road courses. I think it might have been 2 on road courses, but nonetheless, he had his breakout year last year, and he's looking to back that up as Matthew right now trying to back his 90 into the lead, has a win this season already at Las Vegas, but I've kind of noted something. This feels like Matthew is still starting to experience the reverse of what he was doing to AC at Vegas just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think he's starting to sense danger behind him because Data, I think, is the fastest car on track, and it's a matter of time until he gets there, and he is pressing Chase on that lap. He is.
Oh man, here comes Matthew now. Yeah, now Matthew.
Inside goes Matthew, but yeah, he is sensing that danger, and he's gonna go for the lead on Chase, but Data might follow behind him. No, he doesn't. Chase shuts the door on him, and
Data's right
Matthew's
on him.
gone. What a block by Chase! Oh my!
Yeah, Data was right on him off exit there. Data's fast and hungry. He qualified in the mid-pack, but he has only been moving forward. Ooh, Chase, he wiggled a little bit, got tight. Yeah, he got up the racetrack right there. Now Data can try and jump under, but Chase holds the car well there through the middle of the corner and will hold second place for now. And Matthew, his goal now is to gap the field. You saw he was struggling to get by Chase, as said, but now that he's done it, look at the pace. You're right, when he took it, trying to run Wayne again. Everyone's just kind of in a conga line here, following each other back to 9th place Bug.
Strong showing of the Fords today. I think there's 6 of them in the top 9 in this pack. There's 6 of them are Fords. Some impressive strength we're seeing from the Ford Cup program, from the Ford program today. Typically, and the Fords outside, the Fords have typically not been too strong of a program outside of maybe 1 or 2 guys that can get you a few wins in Xfinity. They have really not been an insane program. So, good showing for all those guys.
I like to look a little bit further back here real quick. Dan is still just mired back here in traffic. I was listening to his radio the last few laps, and it has not been good. He is complaining about his car big time, and he's back in 26, racing the likes of Flower, TXN, Raven. Also, yeah, TXN back here a bit odd, but racing the likes of some drivers that have been around this top 20 this season. But Dan has been running a lot better. But Xfinity has always been a bit tough for him. He seems to do a lot better in these Cup cars, and right now just trying to move forward, but is just kind of struggling right now here. Here's Noah, a bunch of rookies here around this group here. Noah, Raven, Whitty, just a bunch of drivers that are just trying to move forward. And for this being all these guys' first time at the trouble! TX set up into the wall, hooked off of, might have been Raven and Whitty. We are still green for now, as these drivers are going to lose a bunch of time here. They're going to probably have to call the caution for that. There is definitely debris on the racetrack. Come back here to the front of the field. Yep, caution is out. Matthew's the leader. I think these guys are racing back. But TXN, who has spent all race in the back of the pack, seems to have gotten caught up in trouble here between two fellow rookies of Witty and Raven. We are racing back to the line. Chase is aware that the cautions is out. He wants to be the leader, and he drives right under Matthew to try and take it. What a drive off by Matthew! Matthew with huge drive off. He'll get to keep custody of the lead as the caution will come out. As 3 drivers here with a lot of damage. And for Witty and Raven, they're used to being involved in some wrecks this season, just trying to clean it up a little bit. And TXM was caught up in the collateral. As we sort things out here under the caution, let's take a look at a replay.
Let's take a look what happens here. See Witty gets a big run on the straightaway. And these two, Raven and TXM, are battling. I guess Witty just tries to open up a hole that is not there. Hooks the 41 into the 81. And all 3 are going into the wall from that point. Just a very, very stupid and rookie move and rookie mistake by Witty. And that is not the first time this season we have seen it from that 64 machine. And big complaints from team owner Mac about that car's performance. This is definitely not a good look for him.
Yeah, 2 rookies and TXN. TXN just getting caught up in collateral. Let's take another look to get a full understanding of what happened here with Witty.
So coming out of turn 4, you notice Witty trying to set himself up for turn 1 as he's behind Raven Fox and TXN, but just misjudges it completely and hits the quarter panel of Raven Fox, collects TXN, who is currently second in the standings, and that's not going to be a good situation for him. And like Mac mentioned earlier, with pressure on Witty, that is not a good look for him or the team owner.
Yeah, we got to get another look at this. Let's see if we could go on board here with Witty to get a good understanding. Here is on board with Witty. Yeah, there was no hole there whatsoever. I think he tried to make it 3 wide, but it was just never going to work. Early caution for some drivers more near the back of the pack. Let's get to the restart. Trying to double things up here. Matthew and Chase trying to figure it out. Matthew decided to choose the bottom line. I think that's where the confusion was. Lane changing here. We are doubling up here at Motegi, and this is going to be the huge concern for everyone on this high side. We saw in the initial start, there was no grip. Now you have to go into turn 1 on the high side. Double file. Gotta keep your positions. Let's see what drivers can be the best at it. It's Matthew. It's Chase. Leading them back to the green flag here. And we're back underway. A little bit past halfway. It's at 44 at the line. Shout out Mythical.
Yeah, they started turn 1. Chase has got a little bit better start on the high line. In the turn 1, doesn't seem like the drop off maybe isn't as huge as, say, last start. It's typical. Is going to get a hole back there. See if he takes that. Probably will. But now here's Matthew. Here's Data. Here's Wayside. Big push from the Fords around that 04 of Chase. It's a whole swarm of them trying to get around this
Data.
04. Wayside. With Data, my bad, apologies. Data looked to the inside of Matthew. Couldn't get anything done. Yeah, it's a swarm of Fords entering this top 7, trying to get around Chase, and also now Dalton for the first time today.
Oh man, big send there by Wayside trying to get under Data. Another big old surge on him there, can't do it. Data's definitely been the fastest car most of this race, and he is making it work. Very well up to second, and there he goes to the bottom, looking for the race lead, and no contest. Data to the point at Motegi.
Watch for the counter here.
Can't get it done. Big flyby of the field. That is 37 cars all flying by in a heartbeat. I mean, oh man, yeah, that high side definitely didn't work out for Bug, for Commander. Redeemer's fallback. Big run from Cole and Mythical. They drive in typical under CJ. These restarts are so important. You got to get spots now, and you're seeing the guys on the high side like Bug and Commander. They are in free fall. There's no grip up there, trying to make it work. Redeem gets put top of 3. Sean nearly gets in the Nexus. A lot of beating, banging back here. Boca Blitz almost gets into him. It is a mess here all the way to the back of the pack, as drivers are all trying to get track position here on this restart. Even the drivers way in the back are fighting for it here, as Data still out in the lead. Cole has moved into the top 10, looking for 9. What a job from this rookie. He has been steadily improving these last few races.
And also, don't forget, Cole started like 34th, I think. I'm pretty sure. He started 34th, and he's up here now.
He is moving, looking for 9th on CJ. He's going to get it. CJ had to let off a little off exit. Still side by side here. Should be off in the 1. New scheme here. Another one of those Japan design schemes. He started way in the back, but it was Las Vegas where people realized, all right, Cole might deserve to be in this ride. An Auto Club, he rode around, got a decent finish, and now here he is in Motegi, a track brand new for everyone, and he is showing what he's got up in the 9th position, trying to run down Peyton, and Doug is under the top 10 for the first time, trying to get by CJ. He has, and is looking at Cole.
Yeah, Cole was seen as a Nepo hire when he was hired to that Shermensky West 29, especially because now there's so much expectation. Dylan had to in that car last season, and Cole also just had, to be completely honest, Frank abysmal results in trucks. He was one of the worst trucks all season long. I believe he only got 1 top 5 the whole year. But with all that down in mind, I wonder if maybe shooting up in the top 5 here, from starting so back, will finally get his name some respect. But Doug wants to maybe drop him back a spot, and Doug is side by side with him. He wants that P9 position, and he's gonna get it.
Easy work, and now Cole with no momentum on that high side, down the front straightaway. What will CJ and Supra do? Off into turn 1. Supra's gonna say screw it. Look at that run by Supra, and going after Cole. Huge surge by this 80 car run by. Oh my goodness, what a run there. Supra's making it work, and that 80 car truck winner at Atlanta making his 2nd career start. He jumps into the 10th spot. That puts both Apex cars up into that top 10, and they are rolling.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Chris has to be elated in the garage with him, with a team like his being starting an Xfinity operation so early. It is that 80 machine, but they basically own that 08 too. So, but man, with the jump this early into Xfinity, you have to be elated if you're team owner Chris.
I mean, what have we talked about all season long this year? We've been talking about comers and goers, and you mentioned earlier, Mac, about Cole, but look around him. That's Peyton, Supra, Doug, Dalton's in front of them, by the way. Behind them, you got the 44 of Mythical. Like, that restart changed the running order completely, as some of these guys were not even up here before that caution, and now they're here in the top 15. But some things have never changed as well. At the front, it's all the 4s, and you saw there just redeemed bad restart. But right now, the 36 of Data continues to lead the way, ahead of the 51 and the 8 of NASCAR Sim as well.
If you want to look at drivers that faded back, mainly probably because they were stuck on the highs on that restart, Nexus Code, he is still faded back. He's in 18th. Redeem's back in 19th. Mac is falling back to 21st, and Commander is in horrible free fall. He is back to 24th. I don't know if under that caution, drivers come down, they get some adjustments to their race car, so everyone's got a pretty good handling of their car now. I guess Commander and his team might have missed the setup there after that first caution, that restart. They are in free fall, and now Raven, who was just involved in that caution, trying to make a move on him. Commander's going to put a defensive move there and will keep 24th. But free fall for Commander, and Dan still in the back, and Scene is now back here as well, and just all throughout the field. Just like we've talked about, a lot of comers and goers, but it seems like these drivers have definitely been aware now that high side's not good, and if it comes down to it late, you want to be on that bottom lane to make passes, but Data is gone.
Nice little battle for
Trying to
second.
feel behind, trying to gain some momentum.
Battle for second. Wayside ahead, Chase, and then battle for fourth. 2 Cup drivers there. Matthew got a little bit of a run there off exit. He'll keep the spot on Typical, but Typical's now moved into the top 5 for the first time today, and he is trying to get up in here and battle these guys like Wayside and Data, who is leading the way. He will take 4th, maybe. Yeah, looks like he will. And NASCAR Sim still hanging on right up in this group. He's been in the top 5 and 10 the entire day, having a great run there in that blue 8 machine.
Oh, bumper to the back of the 05 of Peyton. Dalton sent one to the inside there. He's going to try and make that move work, but right now he's lap 56 now. It's now a case of completely crack the code of catching Data in that 36 machine, because he was fast before the caution and he is fast after the caution. And Chase has been fast, the 51 has been fast, the 42 Commander earlier in the race has been fast as well, but now he is starting to run away, about to get to a 1 second lead, as right now the field bucket stacked up. Big move by Supra, by the way, to the inside of Doug. Once more to the inside of Peyton.
Wow, he's
Not
there.
quite. Oh, he got there.
Wow.
Great run by Supra, by the way. Full-time in the Craftsman Truck Series, running part-time in the Xfinity Series, and he is ahead of his teammate Doug, wanting to pass Peyton, who his teammate Bug is leading the points right now. So fantastic run for Supra.
Yep, we see, and now both Apex cars want to get around that 05 machine. Supra, is he gonna look up for? He's gonna look for 7th on Dalton. Dalton's gonna put the block on that. Not like that. Oh, now they're allowing Payne a huge run. Ooh, but Supra trying to kind of faked going up, but got Payne to stop in momentum, and now Sean is entered this battle.
Yeah, Sean just now clawing his way into the top 10, while Chase gets to run up at the front of the field doing good. And again, both Alberta cars as well, they also have not spent really any time in the top 10. This has been kind of one of their slightly down days, especially for Bug, who, well, if we haven't figured it out by now, has 3 wins on the season. So trying to move forward, but the highest he's been today is what, maybe 9th? So it's been a bit rough for Bug, but this is a new track for everyone, and Bug just taking slightly longer to get accustomed to it. Mythical, he was back in the 20s before that first caution. He's now moved up into 13th. So it seems after that first caution came out, a lot of the more experienced drivers were able to get a good handling under the race car, under the caution, and are now making it work here in this green flag run, as Bug will take that 10th spot from Sean and looks to attack the Apex duo. And right under Doug, can't get there.
Nope. And, well, Chase has started eating into that gap of Data. So just as an important note, Chase has started eating into the lead of Data. But actually, that lap, Data had a huge gain.
Look at how fast they go in the turn 1, just looking at the base car camera. They are flying off in the turn 1. Definitely. These guys are flying around the racetrack, and these drivers are just going to get faster as the race goes on. Not in terms of tire wear, but just in terms of confidence. These drivers have gotten more laps under their cars, and they're able to push to get just a little bit more, knowing they've gone 60 laps of racing experience. They now know, okay, I'm comfortable doing this with my car. And I think that's another reason why guys like Typical are now moving forward. They're very experienced drivers and know what they can get out of their cars here, and they're moving forward. But Data right back to over a second lead. He is moving here with 18 laps to go.
Chase lost another 2 attempts there on Data, and I'm not sure if Matthew's catching him or what, but I think Chase is starting to fall back a bit. He gained time a couple of laps ago on Data. Oh, great run out of turn 4 by Chase, by the way, but I'm not sure that 04 has the speed to catch up to Data. He might, but you don't know. He gained it that time.
A good gain. That's about 3/10 gain there, practically. It's all about a game of inches here now at this point in the race here, as it's gone the most separated it's been all day. The fastest cars have gone to the front, and they are making it work. Typical now looking for 3rd under Matthew. His car has kind of faded here the last few laps, and it's showing he's going to fall back to 4th, and back here, it's a clump here, 5th on back. Wayside still hanging on, Dolan hanging on. Supra trying to get to the outside of Dolan. Gonna get a little bit of a side draft there. Gets really close in there, but now Supra's gonna be in the bad spot here in the turn one. Can he drive it in, or will he have to concede? He's holding his own for now, but I think he will get, yeah, he's gonna end up losing that spot to Doug. And now we'll be able to spot into that 9 spot there. But Bug now has momentum. He's going to take that every day of the week under Super now for that 9 spot. And drives under Doug as well. What a dive bomb there. And will not get by Doug, but make Super get off the gas. They got him very arrow tight there off exit.
No, and Dana's been ran down completely by this 04 within a couple laps.
Yeah, Chase got there.
Oh, huge run. This he might get the pass here on the back straightaway in the turn 3. Let's see if he has enough run. I don't know. Is he gonna send it in? No, he's not. He's gonna keep it back for now.
Ooh, that might have been a bad idea. We'll see if Dana can get the run off the middle of the corner. Ooh, Chase got a little... Yeah, he had to get off the gas right there. He had to get off the gas just slightly right there. Might have ruined his exit speed. Still has a run, though. Gaining on him off in the 1. These two drivers are so consistent here these last 10 to 15 laps, holding a pretty wheel, and you're seeing it right there. They're literally mimicking each other's lines. And Typical, he's running these two down. The more that these two battle, they're going to slow each other down just in the slightest. That's going to allow Typical to gain. Chase is there, but just not enough. Data's so good on entry to able to hold that top spot there, but Chase, he knows his car has come to him. He's fast.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I've noticed something. You see Data's kind of holding the brake in the corners, anticipating the move by Chase. He keeps breaking up his momentum. Yeah, look at that. Held the brake there in the middle of 1 and 2, and just for a split second, but it is enough to disrupt Chase's momentum, because he thinks that Data maybe is trying to having a back corner. Data's trying to brake check him maybe or something like that. But nonetheless, that's kind of something I've noticed as we get here with it under 10 to go. I wonder if Chase is going to find a way to overcome that. He got a huge run there in the 1 and 2.
Ooh, Data now actually gets in the corner more there on 1 and 2 and instantly gaps him. Data got a lot more confident there in the middle of the corner, and he instantly gapped him a little bit there. Now Typical has been able to cut the gap down. Matthews still hanging on in 4th, and now the battle continues to get crazier back here. That's Sean now entering the mix. Dolan trying to hold on to Doug here. Yeah, Data's gapping Chase once again, so now it is just another story about now just having to run him back down. But now the difference is you now got another car in Typical right there in your way. That's now going to be pressuring you. And about 2 seconds behind all of that, we got a mess here.
Oh, Super!
Oh, huge set by the 05.
Big, oh, we got a, someone's got a problem.
Something wrong.
Sean's got a problem.
9.
Sean's got a problem. Wayside stuck behind him with nowhere to go. Team's calling the pit road. Oh, contact!
Kick it down!
No, what are we doing? Sub NASCAR's in the Sean, and he's gonna.
Keep it going, son! Oh my God!
You're gonna try and hook him. Caution's out. Yeah, NAPA race control had no choice but to call the caution right there. Oh my goodness. Well,
What just happened?
welcome to the NAPA Sim Series. I don't know what just happened. We're getting back to the caution here. Data will have him there at the caution over Chase and Typical. Something went wrong,
What just happened?
and there was very little communication amongst all the field back here. Cars were checking up,
Man.
and it was obvious that Sean was in desperation to get to pit road and just turned down in front of Sub NASCAR, and Sub NASCAR was having none of it, hooked him. Sean held it, but NAPA Race Control had no choice but to call the caution. Sean's booking it down pit road. He's got a problem. Big problem on Sean. We will monitor that here. I am not sure what we just witnessed, but hopefully the replays can give us a bit more of an understanding.
see what happens here. Something goes wrong in the 9 machine. They get engine failure, they reported, and everyone's scrambling trying to get around him. Wayside just kind of gets stuck around him, nearly wrecks 13 and X is there, and can't really fight him, can't get the momentum to get around him. Finally does right there in 3 and 4, and as this happens, Sup NASCAR runs into Sean, and Sean trying to get a pit run, and they just kind of get stuck together. And Sup NASCAR can't get that 9 out of the way, can't get by the 9. The 9 was trying to get the pit road, couldn't miss the pit road. And these two, very luckily, do not cause a major wreck, because that would have resulted in some very pissed off drivers. But what a unique way. We'll have a caution here late in the race.
Yeah, Sup NASCAR was obviously angry, but I don't think he was fully aware of what was going on with Sean. Definitely a situation that NAPA officials might look at, but I think it would more be deemed as a racing deal. Here is Max on board. Just watch what happens in front of him. Chaos all around, and Mac has to witness one of his drivers getting bullied off turn 4. But with Sean's engine failure, it set up a caution, and it's going to set up a dash to the finish. We're going to set up here for a shootout here at Japan. 72 of 78, coming to 73 out of 78. It's going to be 6 to go at the line. Chase held his ground on the first restart, but now again is to the outside. The outside's been horrible. Everyone's been talking about it on the radio. Well, for the one stuck up top, they gotta make it work. It's a shootout in Japan. We're back underway. Data leads the field. Chase right behind him. Typical has a chance to make it 3 wide for the lead if he can get a run.
So your Data's dominated the second half of this race. Can he hold it? We got some 3 wide there. Dalton, aggressive maneuver, getting around, getting gained several positions from that. Mythical following in suit. And now Data and Typical side by side here. SW already has a win with 51, and now here's the Typical. He can win on ovals. Don't disrespect him here either. He got 2 cup ovals, but Data, huge run on the outside.
Wow, what a drive by Data. That was a huge run off the top side. He is not going to be denied. He holds the lead over Cup driver Typical, who now has to settle in the second and fight back. Dolan is up here. Mythical's moved into the top 5. NASCAR Sim holding his own. Bug runs Matthew way wide, but after all that, Data keeps the lead and he's trying to run away.
Nexus is coming through as well, but chasing the inside of Typical to 3 and 4 is going to clear him. And you mentioned him earlier, Dylan. Mythical is coming. He was nowhere in this race, and now he's running in the top 5 behind Dalton. As now, it is the same story earlier in the race. Data's in the lead. Chase is behind him. Can he or Typical run him down as we have 4 laps to go?
Oh man, Data, ever since he took the lead, he has not looked back. I don't think anyone's actually been able to straight up pass him. Once he took the lead, Chase has been there, but he just hasn't been able to clear him fully. Data's doing an unreal job. Look at everyone gain as many positions as they can here, trying to in the late going, especially with the high side being as bad as it is. Drivers on that bottom lane can steal some spots here at the end of this one. 3 to go. The top 5 are clear in single file. The top 3 are running away. And behind them, everyone's still battling for spots. CJ, big move under Bug. Might have made a little bit of contact. He'll go right on by him and look under NASCAR Sim.
Now for Chase and for Typical, as if they can set up and get to that 36. Chase is going to get to that 36, it looks like, possibly here in the 3 and 4. He had the run, but Data's going to have the bigger run off the exit, it looks like. Here we go. We've got 2 laps to go here in Motegi.
Chase has got there. That is the closest Chase has been in this race to Data, but he has 2 laps to try and get the move done. Looks like he has a good run out of turn 2 to try and set him up into 3 and 4. As we go on the back straightaway for the penultimate time. Typical is not close enough to try and get the chase. Chase to the inside
big
of
run.
Data. Data blocks the move though.
Here
And
we
out
go.
of turns 3 and 4. White flag sponsored by NAPA Auto Parts. Data leads the way.
Yep, white flag is out here. What can Chase do but being hounded down by Typical? Two drivers that will be running the Cup race tomorrow. They want to start off 1-for-1, but Data down the back straightaway with unreal speed. We've talked about him all race long, about how good he's been this season, right up there in the points. He's been outdueled this season, but he will not be outdueled today. Off turn 4, the inaugural race in Japan is going to go to the 36. Data is a winner once again in the NAPA XFINITY Series. What a drive by Data, and he is going to the playoffs with the win here today, and will hold off Chase, Typical, and the rest of the field. What a drive. And Data ran the Cup race last week at Auto Club, but will not be running the race tomorrow. I'm sure he wish he was, because he is starting off 1-for-1 here in Japan. What a race to kick off the inaugural weekend in Motegi, Japan. Data will come out on top. And now we get to see how everyone else fared out here in Japan. Let's take a look at the finishing results for today's exciting race. And let's take a look at the finishing results for today's race at the inaugural race in Motegi. Once Data took the lead, he didn't look back at all. He dominated the second half of the race, takes the win over Chase and Typical. Mythical climbs back to 4th, and NASCAR Sim will get a top 5. Great run for him. CJ, Bug, Peyton, Dalton, and the rookie Cole will round out the top 10. Some other drivers, Nexus Code had a good run early, led some laps. Redeem was up front. He comes up with a solid 13th. Commander, he gets back to 14th after falling back there earlier in the run. Matthew was top 5 on the final restart, falls back to 18th. That high side is killer. You do not want to be up there. Raven recovers from an accident to get a top 20. Juan and Supercat, two of our open cars running their first respective races in their two machines, the 6th and the 80. They get a nice 21st and 22nd place finish. And all the way back in 28th, Dan with a rough race just was complaining all race long about an insanely tight race car. He will look for better luck in the Cup Series. And then as we look at the second half of the sheet, Mac fell back to 30th there. Had a good run at the beginning of the race, but just did not have the speed to hang on. TXN had a lot of damage. And Scene falls all the way back to 34th. He struggled all race long, just was not his day. Good debut for Cliff McGrath. Brings the car home in one piece and on the lead lap, 35th for him. And our two DNFs, Sean, involved in that accident late in the race, and JJO was out of the race early for clutch issues. But that will do it for the inaugural race in Japan for the Xfinity Series. We still got the Cup guys that are going to come out tomorrow and do battle. But Mac and Chris joining me in the booth. Well, guys, first time these guys have been on this track. And, well, we got to see what the track feels like and how all these drivers were able to handle it. What do we think about this race today?
I mean, it seems like another track where you can put up a defensive masterclass if you're a fast enough car and you get in the lead.
I mean, the track had a lot of covers and goers, which I said during the broadcast that we've seen it all season long. Like, we've seen it at Vegas, for example. We've seen it at Texas, but especially here, like, we've seen some people go from the back to the front, to the back to the front, just consistently. But we've seen just Data and Chase have been there since the very beginning, and those two are fighting for the championship as well. Data currently sitting 3rd in the standings, and as we see in the photo there, Bug got into the top 10, and he was nowhere to start the race, and he has been slowly climbing his way up, and he's just been super consistent all season long, and I expect the championship to be a tight battle between him and Chase and Data, and unfortunate for TXN that he got that into that wreck earlier on with Raven Fox and with Witty. But yeah, as for the race, I think it was fantastic, and I expect the same thing tomorrow for the Cup race.
Yeah, this championship battle is forming up early. We're racing the drivers that are going to be the most competitive. But that will do it for the Xfinity Series. We got the Cup guys tomorrow. A lot of these guys ran today's race, so they got some extra experience. Cup race, even faster cars, even faster drivers. It is going to be exciting. But after today's race in Motegi, it will start a big short track stretch for all three of our series. So these Xfinity guys got to go prepare for that. But that will end it for today's race in Motegi. Hope you guys enjoyed the Xfinity race, and I will see you guys for the Cup race tomorrow in Japan.